piano. I play guitar. I have
Really?
an iPads are set up. One's playing drums now, so we've got three musicians playing. We got the drum machine going blah blah blah.
And Judy's
And
pulling her hair out of her head, huh?
no, actually, she's saying, "Hey, how do I, fit into this? I want to play."
Singer.
I say, "Yeah, pick up a tambourine or something."
Yeah. Be Cher, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, all
So,
fun.
so you started jamming and just hanging out with your buddies and stuff? I mean, did you actually form a group of any kind?
Well, yeah, we did. We weren't that disciplined. I think we had an issue with getting together, smoking marijuana, and then trying to play.
Mm-hmm.
But I played a lot on my own, and I
Right.
had one buddy who, would show me stuff. But let's just say I was very disciplined, but not very focused.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, me too.
So I was very fast, but I didn't really know what the hell I was doing.
Right. So,
Now I know what I'm doing. I'm somewhat fast, but
yeah, that's right. You don't really partake of that stuff anymore, do you?
yeah. Well, no, I still play. I love soloing and.
No, but I mean partaking of like marijuana.
Oh no! I mean, even now you could go out and smoke marijuana in front of a cop here. It doesn't have any appeal.
Right.
So, I actually quit freshman year of college. I started doing transcendental meditation, and they said, look, if you're going to meditate, you can't really be doing dope because it's kind of like taking your mind in the opposite direction. So
Right.
I kind of phased out over a few years and phased into a healthy, clearer lifestyle.
All right. So would you describe like your high school years then as like fleeting, quick, and like you don't even really remember them, or were there any outstanding memories from that era?
Well, I went to a number of different high schools. Actually, I only went to two different high schools.
Oh yeah.
I went when I came back from Europe. My parents were so worried that I hadn't had an education for a few years at the military schools that they put me into a private Catholic school for freshman and sophomore year.
Really? How'd you like
And yeah, it was fine. At the end of sophomore year, I actually didn't get expelled. I think I did get expelled,
that?
but it was more like don't come back. You can come to graduation day, but we actually don't want to see you next year.
I think that qualifies as being expelled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they just suspended me, but then they said just don't come back. So, and I said, well, what is it for? And they said, well, we suspect you are behind a lot of the stuff going on here.
You were a bit of a conniver and a mischief maker, weren't you? A bit of a scoundrel.
But I said, that's not fair at all. You can't just suspect me. You have to actually catch me, don't you?
Well, technically you have to be caught, but there can be, there can be bodies of evidence that are not necessarily linked to you specifically that can be held against you. Yes.
No, they were.
Yeah, I just remember you telling us some stories when we were hanging out, you, me, and Pete, and Pete saying to me, like when we were driving home after doing one of the food shows, and him saying, he's more like us than we are.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, we would put bags of oregano around the school.
Oh yeah.
And then there was someone got a hold of 3 million peelable black or blue dots, circles, little 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch diameter dots.
Right.
And we started putting them around the school.
Oh, nice! Just to get everybody freaked out.
Yeah, and then the school logo, which is 3 feet in diameter, got a whole blue contact paper.
So you were a prankster, is what you really were.
Yeah, we were just bored.
You were a merry prankster. You would have fit right in with Wavy Gravy and his crowd.
Yeah, we probably would have.
Yeah.
And we would have melted our brains long before. So it was good we missed that era.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. I still think I'm standing at, Hayden Ashbury, 1967. Hey, man. So you got out of school by the skin of your teeth?
I was flunking out. It was the lowest of my class in my sophomore year. The guy lowered me, flunked out.
Yeah.
It was interesting because the dean who told me never to come back was also during the summer was the HR guy at a military base not far from the school. And I had taken a test because my mom said, if you take this test and you're really good, you get well. See, my good, well. So I didn't get English for 3 years when I was in Europe. But anyway, if you do well, you will get a job at this, at this military base. So I went and took the test. I think it's some military or some government job test you take. I scored really high, so I got a job as a summer intern. And when I showed up there, I had let my hair grow for the last couple of years, and I ran into the dean, and he said, "Wow, what's happening with you?" And I said, "Well, I'm, going to Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute, and I've got a scholarship, and I'm going to study engineering." And he said, "My God, we had no one from this year or the last couple of years who got accepted at that school, and I thought you were flunking out. And how the hell did you pass this test to become one of the highest guys so you got one of these intern jobs for scoring so high on the test?" So anyway,
you always struck me as one of those kind of guys that like the school kind of probably bored you because they weren't challenging you enough.
Yeah, I remember there were two guys in this Catholic school that sat on either side of me, and it was I don't remember exactly the class, but it was history. And there was a guy, he was a teacher, he was a big muscle man, like a Mr. Olympia. Oh, yeah. And he would make fun of me because the class was split. Guys on one side, girls on the other side. And it was like, I remember Easter, he brought Valentine's Day, he brought chocolates. And he came and he started to pass them out and started to go to the girls. And instead of going to the girls, he came all the way to the back of the guys, handed me a candy, and then went and started with the girls. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, you gay wimp, hippie guy, but anyway, I had guys on either side of me. I remember we were taking this test. I always remember this because they were cheating. And and they said, "Okay, what's the main square in Moscow?" And I put Times Square. So both of these guys had Times Square. And then it was all about Russia, I guess. And they said, "Okay, who is who's the secret police for the Russian?" I put the mafia.
Nice.
Yeah, instead of the KGB or something like that. So or CIA. I don't know what the hell. I think it was the mafia though. So these guys had those. And so when the test got handed out, he looked at me and he said, "I know." I changed my answers because I let these guys copy me. I changed my answers, and he could see that either side of me had these crazy ass answers. So they were really stupid guys, and so anyway,
you were a terminal prankster.
Always, and I think actually, I think in my memory, of course, what do you glorify your past? I believe I would try to take tests and just have enough right that I passed.
Really? Just because?
Or maybe I was just really lost in dope. I have no idea. Because I would look at my grades when I would go back through report cards we kept. Sometimes I would actually have straight Fs, and sometimes I have straight As. And when I talked to my parents about me, they said, "Well, we just never really expected much from you." I was like, "Why the hell was that?" My dad was a really smart guy. He was teaching at West Point, had a master's degree in math from RPI, and graduated from West Point, and he's a very sharp guy. He went into think tanks for all kinds of stuff. Schwarzkopf was his roommate for a while before the Desert Storm, and he worked on the Star Wars stuff. So he's actually a really sharp guy, and they just didn't. I must have struck them as odd. So anyway,
that's fair to say.
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you early memory. They would tell me that until I was 3, I did not walk.
Oh, really?
And I know it was a safety thing. I was a control freak. I would like skidding on my ass. I go down the stairs skidding on my ass because you know what? You can't fall over when you're skidding around on your ass.
Well, yeah, you're safer on the floor.
Yeah. So I thought I was just being smart.
Okay.
Anyway, I think I was an odd kid. I think I was very wired differently or something because I don't learn normally. I really am not that sharp, but I absorb information. And long after people have aced the test and forgotten all the stuff, I've integrated it, and I understand my mathematics and my science on a different level. So I have theories about what goes on in my brain.
So what? You enrolled through this military academy, was it?
Where are you? What year are we? What military academy? No, it was a military base that had internship with government jobs. If you took a government test and scored highly, they gave you an internship for kids. And my mom heard about it. I did the scoring and took the test and went in and worked the summer. And God, did I hate it. I got to see all these people working for the government just pushing paper with no possible benefit or logic, and there was nothing efficient going on.
Right.
And what I did for the summer was worthless. And the fact that I was trying to get something done was irritating to everybody around.
Right.
Oh God. It was like, it was clear that our tax dollars were being flushed down the toilet in 1970 to 73.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Right. So then what happened?
What happened? I went to school, I mean, I went to college after high school. What do you want to know about it? I got into RPI. I went and became a chemical engineer. I basically said, how much money do you make as an engineer? And he said, well, you make about this, but the guys who make the most money are petroleum and chemical. And I said, okay, I'll do chemical.
Okay, right.
So that was hell.
So how did you do in school?
In Rensselaer?
Yeah, in college.
I did well. I was average to above average freshman year.
Were you practicing a lot? Were you like taking it more serious?
Well, I took it very serious because it was kind of scary. But we were on a strange floor the freshman year. I remember. Why was it strange? A lot of people flunked out, and because we were doing so much drugs.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, how much should I say? I don't know who's on the slide, but we actually, someone got hold of LSD. I remember at one point.
Right.
And even though there were a lot of people who didn't do drugs, there were a lot of those people were doing LSD on this group LSD trip.
Yeah, that doesn't mix with calculus very well, huh?
No, and I remember it was like May and it snowed. It was a blizzard, and we all went out in this blizzard. And there were lightning in the middle of the blizzard. We were just freaking out, going, "Wow, this is weird." And anyway, we had probably the most people flunk out, but we also had the highest GPA of any floor of freshman year.
Really?
So it was a very odd experience. It was kind of, a lot of those people I still remember and know. So it was a very bonding thing. And it was a challenging time for staying in school for us, definitely. Go ahead. What was your question?
I was just curious. Are you still in touch with any of those guys?
Yeah, actually, one of them I became a roommate after freshman year. We decided that the school was 98% guys, so we went and got an apartment downtown that was halfway between Rensselaer Polytech and the all-women's college that was kind of a sister college for RPI called Leonard Willard or something weird like that. I can't even remember what the hell it was. It's good. It was an interesting place to live because we got a great deal. It was $100 a month, and we had the top floor, and the guy below us. Also, there were 3 levels. The first level was a shop that sold stuff, and it turned out that actually nothing ever was sold. The guy was a bookie, and we figured it out after a while. We were sharp, and he lived on the second floor above his shop, and we were on the third floor. We had 3 bedrooms, and we were paying like $100 a month, and that worked really well for college guys.
Right.
Maybe it was $300 a month. We all paid $100, but we painted the place any way we wanted to, so it looked very electric. Got a hold of a foosball table, so we got very good at that.
Oh, I love foosball.
It was quite a pad.
Mm-hmm. The bachelor's pad.
It was a bachelor's pad, and it was close to Emmerd Willard, the all-girls school, and we could spend more time over there and feel like we weren't having the total male experience at Rensselaer.
Yeah, males only. Yeah. Wait, where was this at? Was this in New York?
Yeah, it's Troy, New York.
Troy. Okay.
If you live in Troy, what do they call you?
A Troyan?
A Troylet.
A Troylet.
A Troylet.
Troylet. Nice. So you're a Troylet. Yeah. All right. So you guys got this place, and then what?
Well, I mean, the place had a permanent cloud over it, the whole town of Troy. If it was sunny, it'd be sunny everywhere but this place. Anyway, it worked for studying,
Is it dreary?
It was very dreary, yeah. Kind of.
Seattle. So Seattle, West Coast, or on the East Coast.
Yeah, except, Seattle, they're depressed, on some level, but they try to make a go of it. Troy just gave up.
Right.
I think it was like something to do with textiles and just really, Troy at that time was, the only non-condemned townhouse on our block was the guy